How is everyone? I really do hope everyone is okay, as best as can be in each person's circumstances. So today, in today's video, I'm doing a couple of tags and themes. And so I hope that may brighten just some of your week if you're not having a really great week. Now, I'm going to be doing Little Waddle's Nursery, my doll collecting style tag, while also participating in their Casual Fun Friday, which I think the theme is Fancy Friday. So there's a little bit of that going on here. I'm also going to participate in the hashtag Fresh Face Friday, which is hosted by @MyBellaBlessingsNursery, because I do have some fresh face dolls that I haven't shown on my channel, as you can see. Now, why is that? Well, that's because I've received just recently some porcelain dolls, porcelain clowns, and a porcelain bear from someone who'd just lost their mother a while ago, but they were just cleaning out the house. They gave them over to my son and his partner because they have a little girl. And but you know, they're porcelain dolls. And my granddaughter is going on 5. And she was a bit freaked out by them, you know. So she's not freaked out by the reborns, but she was freaked out by the porcelain dolls. Now, these are 2 of the dolls that were there. Some were, you know, some were broken. So I'm in the middle of repairing them, but these are the 2 that have survived, or 3 that have survived out of that don't need to be fixed or touched in any way. I'm also going to participate for my friends in America, the theme that Yvonne over at Having You On is doing this week, of bears and cats and kittens, because it's Thursday with you guys for Theme Thursday. So I'll be incorporating that with a bit of a unique twist. So here we have now some additions of the dolls to my collection. Like I said, they're new, they're fresh. Now, as you can see, we've got a beautiful dark-haired, dark-skinned porcelain doll. She is absolutely gorgeous. I'll probably hashtag Cena into this video because this doll instantly reminded me of Cena over at Cena's Dolls. Every time I look it up, it reminds me of Cena. So I just think she's absolutely beautiful. I didn't have to strip her in any way or take her clothes off to wash them, thankfully, because I did not want to touch her hair or have to strip her and pull things over her head. I think Cena did a video saying how difficult it was to dress a porcelain doll, and my word, is she correct. It's difficult to undress them, but to put the clothes back on them was difficult. So I'm so very glad I never touched this actual doll. She didn't need to be touched. She must have been kept maybe in a cupboard with something over her because she had hardly any dust on her. As you can see, the beautiful blonde vinyl head doll is exactly that. Now, she's on a stand where the Cena looking like doll, hope you don't get insulted, Cena, she has to be stood up. So I've just got her in a chair, a broken chair as a stand. But the vinyl head doll is exactly that. She's a vinyl head doll. The rest of her body, limbs, is actually stuffing stuck to framework. So it's not in a cloth body at all, and that dress is straight over that with a pair of knickerbocker pants underneath, but the rest is just stuffing, all stuck into a frame underneath. But her arms both go up together, not individually but together, so they must have a wire. So if you pull up the right arm, the left arm just automatically goes with it. But yeah, but it's just her vinyl head, which I'd like to wash her hair, but I don't know how to. And then we have, here's my unique twist, is the porcelain bear. I washed her clothes. Those are the doll clothes she came in. So I've put them back on. She was easy to dress because she wasn't as rigid. It's only her, so she's got a porcelain head and only her paw hands and feet are porcelain or clay. The rest of her is cloth body, so she's quite bendable. As you can see here, we have Dominic. It was the only outfit I could find that had a bear on it, not even a cat and a kitten for the girls to be involved here. So here's a grumpy bear on his little romper, got him holding a bear, and Shane is wearing, Yvonne over at Having You On, he's wearing a koala bear romper. And in Australia we have a saying, how much can a koala bear? So he's wearing that romper today because that's the only bears we have in Australia, but it's still a bear. So while I have them on display for you to look at, I will answer the tags over at Kitty's nursery, at Little Waddle's nursery. And the number one question is, what types of dolls do you enjoy collecting? Well, I've only ever collected one type of doll, and that's the reborn doll. And I do really enjoy collecting reborn dolls. I've only actually started doing it since 2021. So I don't have too many in my collection. But as a child, I never collected any dolls. One thing, my mum wouldn't allow it. She was not one for clutter at all, and that went for toys and dolls. So anything we had to play with was outside. It was kept outside. It was never allowed to be inside. As a little 4-year-old, and my sister was about 3, we had these dolls that was big as us, same height, same width as everything. So I remember them dolls. I don't know if my sister does, but there is a photo of us too, with these big dolls sitting right beside us at that age. And that's while we lived in New Zealand. When we moved to Australia, that was all left behind. So a bit later, when we were a bit older, an aunt actually gave us, me and my sister, a Cabbage Patch doll each, which I think I've briefly mentioned in a previous video when I bought a Cabbage Patch doll in one of my shopping hauls. I think that was part 3 of that 4-part series. And I mentioned there I didn't get to keep my Cabbage Patch doll for long, but my sister still has her Cabbage Patch doll to this day. But I've got another Cabbage Patch doll to my collection. So down to today, I've never collected anything as a child, or as an adult, sorry. My daughter had the odd Barbie that I can remember, but because I suppose I never had an interest in dolls, I never encouraged it for my daughter either. And she was pretty much an outside girl. So yes, I really enjoy collecting the reborn dolls. Now that I do have some porcelain and cloth dolls in my collection, I really like the cloth, like the Raggedy Andy and Ann dolls. The other different types of dolls that are made with cloth, just cloth, they're a bit more enjoyable too. The porcelain, I'm not too keen on because I don't want to break them. They're lovely for display and stuff, and that's about all. But the same with the reborn. Excuse me. Yeah, so, okay, that's number 1. So I really enjoy collecting reborn dolls as my collection style. What best describes your doll collecting style? So there's an A to F multiple choice, but I have an answer pretty much for each one of them, so I'll try and keep them brief. A is, what best describes your doll collecting style? Is it collecting dolls for art purposes? Definitely yes when it comes to the reborns, as that's my predominant collection. I have to admit the art is absolutely exquisite. So B is collecting different types of sculpts by the same artist. I would definitely like to do that as a collector, but because I've only just started, that'll be a goal down the road. Collecting a complete series of dolls? No, I don't. No, definitely not. I don't really have the space, time or money. I probably don't have the space, time or money either for the different types of sculpts by the same artist either, but to maintain different sorts of collection would be a lot of that. So if I'm going to collect one type, it'd be the different types of sculpts by the same artist. Collecting dolls, so D, this is D, collecting dolls because their beauty appeals to you. Definitely yes. I mean, the art, as I've already said, is exquisite. You know, the beauty of seeing the art come together to this hyper-realistic baby And also the beauty of the sentimental value that you can get from collecting these types of dolls, especially if they look like yourself as a child or one of your own children. There's another beauty aspect to that. So E, collecting dolls within a certain budget. Well, that's a definite yes. Definitely not rich, which is why I learnt to paint, to be able to make my own dolls, not feel I have to buy them. And F, collecting dolls for their future value. Well, no. Even though with reborns, and some of their sculpts bring value to the table, that's really not a goal for me in my collecting. So number 3 question, how do you interact with your dolls? Do you dress your dolls, role play, display them, or do all 3? Now I do dress my dolls and display them about my home, but I don't role play, because as to me they are art pieces that I do like to show off though. Just not play around with them besides the dressing, and I rarely dress them or redress them. But if taking out your reborn is role playing, then I probably can't say no to that either. I do treat them like a baby when I am transporting them by putting them in car seats, taking them out in prams or baby carriers or slings for the safety of the doll. I don't think they're babies, so in that sense I'm not role playing. I don't get a bottle to feed them, I don't change their diaper, every morning or anything like that, but I do transport them in the appropriate means like I would a baby, because at the end of the day they are dolls that do look like babies, and because they're art pieces you want to treat the paintwork as carefully as you can. Number 4, do you hold on to your dolls for a long time, or do you regularly sell them and replace them? Well, since I've only just started collecting since 2021, I really haven't had the need to sell and replace. And I've got a certain goal in wanting to paint. As I said, I want to paint, myself, my sister, my children, grandchildren, niece and nephews. I want to custom make them into a sculpt that I might come across and go, oh wow, that looks like, my son, and paint them to look like them. And that is my goal. It's like having a 3D portrait of them around my house instead of just a photo on the wall. But as I was actually learning to paint, and practicing on kits that have nothing to do with customising how a baby would look like someone, just trying to make them look like a baby, I don't know how people sell them. They are just so darling to keep. I don't know if I can sell. I've never sold a doll. I haven't even tried. I'm still learning to paint, and I'm not saying I'm bad, but I just can't find, the thing to sell them yet. It's like saying goodbye to your pet or something. So at this stage, I'm just not ready for selling. So number 5, what type of dolls do you not have in your collection that you aspire one day to own? Well, as my collection is predominantly reborns, I would like to own one day a silicone doll, full body silicone or partial, either one, and also a reborn by Kelly Dudley and Sylvia's Creations to be part of my collection. So there you have it, guys. That's the answers, or my answers, to Little Waddle's Nursery My Dolly Collection tag. Now my participation in Yvonne's themes for Theme Thursday of Bears and or Cats and Kittens, as previously said, was I've got the collection of the porcelain bear doll. I've got Dominic in his bear romper. We're holding a bear, and Shane in his koala bear romper. The other unique twist was going to be, I was going to grab my little kitten and put her on the little mat or the little sheepskin in front of them, but she's decided to leave somewhere. Oh, there she is, out playing outside. And she is a very unique little kitten. I saved her from a bit of a horrible situation that was going to happen. They were going to dump her because she was sadly born with 4 legs but 3 feet. So she is, I named her Peggy, like peg leg. So yeah, so that was going to be my other unique twist besides the porcelain bear, was I was going to put the kitten up there because she's a beautiful little kitten and unique in herself too. So, but that's my participation in a tag and some themes. And I hope everyone has a good Thursday over in America, and everyone in Australia has a good Friday. And hope you all have a great weekend. Bye guys from all of us here at the Western Reborn crew. Bye.